everyone, Michael here, and welcome back to episode 3, season 3 of the history of famous ships, the history of the RMS Lusitania. Now, I think this will go down in history on my channel as the longest season for the history of famous ships. But I don't know, there might be some longer ones, but so far this is the longest there's been. The third episode, and mostly a 2-episode timeline since my first season. So, in the last episode, we looked at the Lusitania's sister ship and her history, and more stuff like her general characteristics, her gross tonnage, and more stuff like that. But now we can finally focus on most of the Lusitania's history. Now, in the first episode, we covered some of that, but we only got the general characteristic and some other characteristics. So now we can get into the good, juicy stuff about the RMS Lusitania. RMS Lusitania the sinking of the RMS Lusitania occurred on Friday the 7th in May 1915 during the First World War. As Germany waged submarine warfare against the United Kingdom, which had implemented a naval blockade of Germany. The ship was identified and torpedoed by the German U-boat U-20. Took on a heavy starboard list and sank in 18 minutes. The vessel had went down 11 miles, also the same as 18 kilometers, off the old head of Kinsale, Ireland, killing 1,198 people. Relatively, in the First World War, before tactics of evading submarines are properly implemented or understood, the contemporary investigations in both the United Kingdom and the United States into the precise causes of the ship's loss were obstructed by the needs of wartime secrecy and a propaganda campaign to ensure all blame fell upon Germany. Argument over whether the ship was a legitimate military target raged back and forth throughout the war as both sides made misleading claims about the ship. At the time she was sunk, she was carrying over 4 million rounds of small arms ammunition, also the same as .303 caliber, almost 5,000 sharp-nose shell casings for a total of some 50 tons and 3,240 brass percussion fuses, in addition to 1,266 passengers and a crew of 696. Several attempts have been made over the years since the sinking to dive to the wreck, seeking information about precisely how the ship sank. The argument continues to the present day. Now we can get into some of the questions of you guys in the comments of the first episode. So let's start. The first one was from Carl saying, why was the sinking of the Lusitania important? Well, the sinking of the Lusitania was an important event in World War I. The death of so many innocent civilians at the hands of the Germans galvanized American support for entering the war, which eventually turned the tide in favor of the Allies. And now we have another one from Mary saying, was Lusitania bigger than Titanic? Well, Both British ocean liners had been the largest ships in the world when first launched. The Lusitania at 787 feet in 1906 and the Titanic at 883 feet in 1911. And now we have another one, and the other one is from Blake, saying, what was the last survivor alive in the Lusitania? Well, the last known survivor from the Lusitania ocean liner that was sunk by a German U-boat in 1915 has died. Audrey Lawson Johnston from Melbourne in Bedfordshire died in the early hours of Tuesday, aged 95. She was 3 months old when the liner bound for Liverpool from New York sank off the Irish coast on the 7th of May. And another one is from Audrey, saying that, were there any babies on board? Well, 124 children on board. 94 of them perished. Sorry, I'm saying this with sadness because I can't bear it, but I have to do it. Including 31 of 35 infants. Worth noting that the often quoted number of 1,195 lost in the official number. This site's numbers 1,193 were lost, and 1,198, also the same as 1,197 on the site, includes the stowaways as well. Another question from George, saying, did the captain of the Lusitania survive? And I know why you might question this, because everyone knows that the captain of the Titanic went down with the ship for some reason. Her commander, Captain Charles B. McVeigh III, like Turner, survived the sinking in what could only be described as a monumental exercise in scapegoating. The U.S. Navy court martelated McVeigh for the loss of his ship. They found McVeigh guilty of hazarding his ship by not zigzagging at the time of the attack. This other question is from John, saying, how deep is the Lusitania's wreck? And that's depth is 93 meters. The Lusitania wreck sits at the depth of just 93 meters compared to the Titanic's resting depth of over 3,700 meters out in the mid-Atlantic. So, yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a view. Also hit the bell so you can be notified of when a new video comes out. And I'll see you all guys next time.